Now, first of all, let me give you the project overview. Okay, before starting with the implementation, first of all, let's discuss what kinds of problem statement we are trying to solve and how we are going to approach this problem. And throughout this entire community series, actually, what are the things we actually will be learning. Okay, each and everything, I'll be just giving some of the high level overview. So the first thing, what I will discuss about the mm, project overview. Okay, so project overview. So first of all, let's discuss about project overview. Project overview. I hope my text is visible, guys, to all of you. Confirm in the chat, or should I zoom in? If it is fine, then I can continue. Otherwise, I can zoom a little bit. Maybe it is visible. Okay. All right. So here, mhm. So project overview wise, first of all, I will give the introduction. Okay. First of all, I will give the introduction of the project. Introduction. Introduction of project. Then we'll see the problem statement. Problem statement. Then we'll also see the solution. Okay, solution we'll be proposing. Solution understanding. Understanding. Then after that, we'll see the code walkthrough. Okay, code walkthrough. Uh, and here, before that, first of all, we'll be doing something called notebook experiment. Notebook experiment. Because most of you are already familiar with Jupyter Notebook implementation. So first of all, I will implement the entire project with the help of this Jupyter Notebook. Then I will give you the modular coding understanding. Okay. Then once you have implemented all the component, your project is ready. We'll see the deployment part. Deployment part. All right. And we'll introduce some new technology in the deployment part, because as of now, we have seen CI/CD AWS deployment. CI/CD AWS deployment. If you check out our previous actually community session, we have already covered this part. Okay, with the help of something called GitHub action. GitHub action, I think you have already performed this task. So here, what I was thinking, I was trying to integrate Circle CI. Circle CI CI/CD deployment. CI/CD deployment. Okay, so this thing actually will be integrating new to our project, so that you will get some other idea like how we can use some other tool, actually other CI/CD tool actually, to do the deployment. Okay, and maybe I will deploy this project to the GCP cloud. GCP cloud. Okay, that means Google Cloud. And if it is not possible, then I may try I may use this one, AWS cloud. Okay, but I will try to use GCP cloud. Okay, because the project I have designed, I'll be using GCP cloud here. Okay, for the data ingestion, or let's say for the model pusher, I'll be using GCP here. Because I saw like you have already completed this one, AWS configuration, like how to like ingest the data from this S3 bucket, how to push the model to the S3 bucket, right? Have you done it, guys? Anyone here working with S3 or AWS here? Anyone? Please let me know in the chat quickly. So that is what I was thinking, like to integrate the GCP here, Google Cloud here. Okay, because Google Cloud would be new to you, so that's why. Yeah, project title I will give you. So please wait, give me some times. Okay, I'll give you the project. Yeah, fine. All right, so now I think this project overview is clear. Okay, then first of all, let me give you the project introduction. Okay, like which problem statement we are trying to solve here. So here I'll be solving one problem statement. So here we'll be picking up one NLP task. Okay, so the task is text classification. Text classy. Text classification. Anyone work with text classification before? Yeah, maybe most of you have already worked with text classification, I know that, but why I have picked up this text classification here? Okay, there is a reason, because I'm considering there would be lots of people, they are like very less familiar with this NLP, okay, NLP project. So that's why I haven't picked up any advanced project, so that everyone can understand this particular pipeline, whatever pipeline I'll be creating. Because see, pipeline will remain same if you're picking any kinds of problem statement, whether it can be text classification, or let's say if you're taking any other task, let's say you are doing NER, okay, or let's say you are doing text summarization, okay, text summarization, or let's say you are doing sentiment analysis, okay, sentiment analysis, okay. So this pipeline will remain common, okay, for any kinds of NLP task you will be doing. So my objective is to show you the NLP pipeline, end-to-end project pipeline, like how we can build this one. Okay, here I'm not teaching any kinds of advanced project. Okay, project you can do by yourself, but before implementing the project, first of all you need to understand how we can design a pipeline, how we can approach one end-to-end problem statement, how we can convert our Jupyter notebook to our end-to-end pipeline. So this is the main idea of this session. Yeah, app also will be creating, no issue. Okay, app also will be creating, and we'll try to use fast API here, because I know you know already, let's say Flask, you know. Okay, Flask you know, Streamlit also you know. Okay, Streamlit you also learn. So here I'll be using something called fast API. Okay, fast API, maybe this part is left, so I'll try to use this fast API. This project would be based on your natural language processing algorithm. Here I think you saw, this is like family of RNN. Okay, recurrent neural network will be using, basics algorithm will be using, not a very complex. All right, so here we'll be solving this text classification problem statement, and the problem statement I'll be solving called head speech classification. Head speech, let me just write down, head speech classification. Okay, why I picked up head speech classification? There is a reason I already picked up this particular project, because this project is I mean little advanced project, because nowadays whatever advanced application actually we see. Okay, let's say if I'm talking about this chat GPT. Okay, so let's open this particular chat GPT. So here I think you observed, okay, if you give any kinds of hate speech here, okay, hate speech or often offensive text or harmful text, so what will happen? It won't be replying. Okay, it won't be replying you, or it won't be like giving you the response. Okay, the response actually you are looking for. Let's say here I will give one prompt, how to kill one man. Okay, so this, let's say this is my prompt. Now can anybody tell me, will it reply like how to kill a man? What do you think? If you know this policy of this one, actually chat GPT, so maybe you know the answer. Guys, can you tell me what will be the answer? Will it give again any kinds of response, like how to kill a man? So let's see, like, see if I give this prompt. So see, it is telling, I'm sorry, but I can't assist with that. It's against my policy, okay, and ethical guidance to provide guidance or information or harming to the killing people. Okay, see how it is detecting it is offensive text. Okay, how it is detecting it's a hate speech text or it's a offensive text, because in the backend they're performing this kinds of hate speech classification. Okay, they're analyzing the user prompt, what kinds of prompt they are giving. Okay, now tell me, this project is good or not? Although the name should be simple, but project is good. This project you are using in your real life application. Okay, that's why I picked up this particular project. Okay, everywhere if you see nowadays, whatever application came in the market, okay, everyone using this kinds of hate speech classification in the backend, okay, to actually I mean maintain their policy and ethical guideline and all. All right, yeah. Yes. So that is why, first of all, we need to learn whenever you are working with the natural language processing. First of all, the first thing you need to always follow this ethical guideline or this policy. Okay, so you should not actually process those data which is harmful. Okay, for the people. So first of all, you need to analyze them. You need to separate out whether this particular text it has speech or not. Then you can start with any kinds of application. There is no issue with that. Can we use this template and we can solve similar problem statement? Yes, you can do it. Because I told you, if you learn one implementation, you can do any other implementation with the help of same template. Okay, as we already did in our ML and DL project implementation as well. Fine. All right. So that's why we'll be solving this hate speech classification problem statement. Okay, now what is hate speech classification? Okay, what is hate speech? What do you mean by hate speech? Anyone know? So just let me write down one uh, simple actually what simple definition. So hate speech. Okay, hate speech classification. Classification is the process process of identifying and categorizing speech speech or language, okay, that may be considered offensive, okay, offensive and harmful, okay, harmful, as we already saw with the help of this chat gpt example. Okay, now I think this is clear what is hate speech classification exactly. Okay. If you have GPU, so training would be a little bit faster. But if you don't have GPU, no need to worry. We can also train it on CPU machine. Okay. And if you have neural lab access, so you can also use neural lab here. I'll tell you. Okay. No issue with that. Yeah. So now I think this project part is clear. What kinds of problem statement we'll be solving. Okay. Now, first of all, let's see the problem statement. Okay, problem description. So problem statement wise, I already told you. Okay, because nowadays whatever application you see, okay, because see, today is the digital world, and there are lots of digital data is generating, okay, from us. So it's actually our responsibility to take care whenever we are creating any kinds of application. Okay, uh, we need to filter out those kinds of text, okay, which is not harmful. So this is our task actually. So that's why you can use this particular hate speech classification in any kinds of you can say NLP project you are doing. Okay, it can be chat gpt, it can be any other model, let's say DALI 2, Google Bard, or any other let's say application. You can use this particular application. Okay, I think recently one particular model has came actually from OpenAI called Soda OpenAI. Have you heard of this particular name, guys? Soda. So if you give any text prompt, it will create video, okay, from that particular prompt, and this video is realistic video. See, this is a realistic video. So now let's say if I'm giving any kinds of offensive text, okay, now if it is creating that particular video, then definitely there would be a problem. Okay, so that is why they are also considering this kinds of hate speech or harmful text in the backend. They're processing that, okay, and they're trying to filter out what kinds of prompt they should take and what kinds of prompt they should ignore. Okay, so this application is using everywhere. Okay, if you consider, if you just think in one I mean think about it, you will see this application is used everywhere. Fine. So this is our main actually you can say problem description, or you can say scope of the application. Fine. All right. So for the solution, here I've already written solution understanding. So what kinds of solution actually we can propose here? So here we just need to build one, we just need to train one NLP model. Okay, so let's say this is one model, this is one RNN model, recurrent neural network model. So here I need to train this model with the help of hate speech data. Okay, the data where I will get this data is already available in open source. So if you just search hate speech hate speech data set. So this data set is available everywhere. If you see Kaggle contains already this data. Now there are lots of third party actually website also contains this data. Now let's open this one actually, kaggle.com. See, here actually you have this hate speech data. Okay, even you can also use something called Twitter hate speech data. Twitter, because in Twitter you will see lots of hate speech data would be generated. Twitter hate speech data. Maybe I will be using this Twitter hate speech data so that I will give you some better understanding. Hate speech data, Kaggle. So here, hate speech offensive language, Twitter hate speech classification. See, there are also data I will see. So you can download this particular data and you can use it. I'll tell you whenever I will be doing the data ingestion part. That time I will try to load this particular data and I'll show you. Okay, fine. So this was our actually idea. So here we'll be training one RNN model. So this model will take actually input data. Okay, input let's say text. Okay, input text, and it will classify whether this particular text is hate speech or not. So hate speech. Okay, hate speech. No hate speech. Okay, so this is the project actually will be implementing. So now let me write down how we'll be approaching this particular problem statement. Okay, so the first thing I already told you, I'll be giving you this notebook walkthrough. Okay, notebook, notebook walkthrough, notebook walkthrough. Then before starting with the actual component, I'll show you also architecture diagram. Architecture diagram. Okay, because I already created some of the architecture diagram. So let's say I'm doing, let's say this one, data ingestion. Okay, data ingestion component. So before writing the code of this data ingestion component, first of all, I will give you this architecture overview. Okay, how you need to ingest the data. What are the configuration you need? What are the, let's say, artifact you need? First of all, I will give you this particular idea. Then I'll try to write this particular component. Okay, so that's why I've included this architecture diagram discussion. All right. Then I will also show you the cost involved. Okay, cost involvement in this project. Cost involved. So cost involved wise, here first of all we'll be ingesting the data, and for this we'll be using G-Cloud. Okay, G-Cloud bucket. Okay, it's similar to your S3 bucket. S3 bucket. So if you are keeping your data inside G-Cloud bucket, so definitely it will like charge you some money. Why I've included this particular cloud here? Because we already showed you from the open source as well, like how to store the data to the let's say Google Drive, and how to store the data to the GitHub, and how we can read. Okay, you already know this part, but whenever you are working in the production ready project, okay, so that time actually this cloud you need to know. Okay, you just need to store the data in the cloud, because if your data size is huge, okay, because in GitHub actually we'll see if your data size is huge, let's say it is 1 GB. Okay, 1 GB, so it won't work. Okay, but in you can now tell me I can use Google, let's say Google Drive here. Okay, G Drive here. You can use G Drive, but let's say those who are using free G Drive, so that case actually they will be getting pretty less space here. I think you will be getting 15 GB around. Okay, 15 GB around. But let's say your data is, let's say, 20 GB. At that time actually it will fail. So that time actually you need to move to the cloud. Okay, cloud based like technology. So there actually you can take a bucket, and inside that bucket you can store your data and you can read from there. Okay, this is also possible. Fine. So this is the cost involvement. Actually, here we'll be using G Cloud bucket. So for this, you should have some cost. And model training wise, we won't be using any kinds of cloud here. We can train this model on the local machine as well. Train model. Okay, train model. You can use CPU here, because here we'll be creating one basics RNN network. So it doesn't need any GPU training. You can also do it on CPU. But if you want to do CPU GPU training, at that time you can use any kinds of GPU. Okay, let's say you can use I mean this one, any kinds of GPU you can train. Okay, at least 8 GB VRAM. Okay, and more than 1000 CUDA cores. Okay, I think it is enough. Yeah. So model training cost wise, you can ignore. Okay, here I'm not using any kinds of cloud. So then after that, we'll be pushing this particular model. Okay, model pusher, model push. So for this, again, we'll be using this G Cloud bucket. So again, it will charge some of the money. And for the deployment, okay, at the last, we'll be doing the deployment. Okay, deployment. So for deployment, we'll be using some of the services from the cloud. So it will include some of the cost. Okay, so this is the cost involvement part of this particular project, right? And make sure you have the GCP account and AWS account both, so that you can continue with this particular project. So yes, I think this is the overview of our project. Now let me just tell you the prerequisite. Okay, now you can ask me what are the prerequisite for this particular series. So just let me write down the prerequisite. Mm, prerequisites. So prerequisite wise, I'm expecting you are already familiar with basics of, okay, basics of NLP, and you should at least familiar with this RNN concept. Okay, recurrent neural network. Okay, and you should at least familiar with this text classification task. Okay, because here you are learning the project, so it won't be possible to me, okay, to show you the entire thing actually. What is recurrent neural network, what is text classification. Okay, because we'll be focusing on the implementation here. I'm not teaching any kinds of theoretical part. So you should have the some basics knowledge of this. These are the actually technology. Okay, if you have, then you will be able to understand this particular problem statement. No, transformer we won't be using. We'll be using simple RNN here. Okay. Yeah, transformer you can use. You can create with the help of transformer pipeline also. Okay, you can do it by yourself. Once you learn the implementation, you can do it. No issue with that. Or if you want, in future I can also bring some of the project with the help of transformer. Okay, end-to-end project. That is our future plan. Okay, first of all, learn this basics implementation. Then you should have knowledge on Python programming language. Okay, Python programming language, at least object oriented. Okay, object oriented it is required, because the pipeline will be creating. Okay, will be following the class method. Okay, we can also use inheritance concept and all. So definitely you should have knowledge on this object oriented programming. Basic scripting, I mean if you know basic scripting, then some of the code would be a little bit confusion for you. But if you have the idea about object oriented programming, if you have already worked with class and methods, okay, you'll be able to understand this particular implementation. Then you should have the most important thing, your dedication. Dedication is required. Let's say you have joined today's session, tomorrow's session you are not joining. Okay, so definitely you won't be able to get the concept. So you should have your dedication. Just be with the session, try to implement with me, and after this implementation, try to pick up any kinds of other problem statement and try to use the same template on top of it. Then your understanding would be very much clear, like how to develop one end-to-end project. Fine. So if you have, these are the prerequisite, I think. And fourth thing, actually I forget to mention, you should have GCP account. Okay, GCP account. Or you can, if you have this AWS account, it is also fine. Okay, But I'll try to use GCP account because AWS is already covered. I know that. So I'll try to use GCP, okay, for every cases. Fine. So these are the prerequisite for this particular series, entire series. Hmm. All right. Now I think this project overview is clear. Like in this entire series, okay, in this entire 7 days, what we are gonna exactly perform. Okay, maybe this part is clear. Please let me know in the chat. If it is clear, let me know in the chat. Then I can start with the NLP pipeline discussion. Okay, because this is the main agenda. So you should have knowledge on NLP pipeline. Then we can start with the implementation. This project overview is clear, guys. All the overview, whatever things I have written so far. Yeah, maybe it is clear. Okay, now I can start with the discussion of NLP pipeline. So see, guys, here we are doing something called end-to-end project. Okay, here we are doing what? End-to-end project. End-to-end project. Okay, end-to-end project. So whenever I'm like talking about end-to-end project, okay, what do you think? Okay, in an end-to-end project, what are the component you think in an end-to-end project? What do you think, guys? Okay, let's ignore this one, end-to-end project. First of all, let's say whenever I'm talking about any kinds of NLP project, any kinds of NLP project, any kinds of NLP project. Okay, so here you need to focus on something called NLP pipeline. NLP pipeline. Okay, what is NLP pipeline? So NLP pipeline is, so let me just write down. I can give you one small definition. NLP pipeline is nothing but break down the problem into several sub problem, several sub problem. Okay, so this is called NLP pipeline. Okay, so what does it mean of this break down the problem into like you can say several sub problem. So let's say you are doing one NLP project. Okay, you are doing one NLP project. So in that NLP project, you have some of the things actually actually you I mean always need to consider. The first thing, you can call it as data acquisition. Okay, data acquisition. Okay, then the second thing, you need to consider something called text pre-processing. Okay, or you can also consider as text preparation. Text preparation. Okay, inside text preparation, you have uh, two kinds of text preparation. One is like basics. Okay, basics processing, pre-processing. Okay, another is like advanced pre-processing. Okay, so these two things you need to take care. So sometimes I need basics pre-processing, sometimes I need advanced pre-processing. I will discuss, okay, whenever we need it. Then third thing, you need to consider something called feature. Okay, feature engineering. Feature engineering. Okay, then after feature engineering, you should focus on something called modeling. Okay, then after modeling, you should focus on evaluation. Okay, after evaluation, you should focus on the deployment part. And after doing the deployment, you should focus on something called monitoring. Okay, monitoring and model updating. Okay, so this is the entire actually pipeline. Okay, we follow whenever we are talking about any kinds of NLP. Okay, NLP project, whenever I'm talking about any kinds of several sub problem, okay, so we have, these are the problem, okay, these are the sub problem only. So let's say you have one NLP problem, which is a bigger project you are trying to solve. So first of all, try to break down the problem statement. Let's say first of all, do the data acquisition, then do the text preparation, then do the feature engineering, then do the modeling, then do the evaluation, then do the deployment, then do the monitoring and model updating. Okay, so we call it a sub problem. Okay, I hope this part is clear, guys. What is like NLP pipeline? Is it clear, guys? Yes or no? NLP pipeline. What does it mean of this pipeline? I think you got it right. What is NLP pipeline, right? Yes or no? Yeah. Now let's discuss each and everything one by one. Okay, so for this, what I can do, I can first of all write data acquisition. So let me just write here. First of all, I will be discussing this data acquisition. Data acquisition. Acquisition. Okay. So data acquisition wise, there would be lots of condition. Okay, I can't tell which condition you will face, but there would be some condition whenever you are doing this data acquisition part. So the first thing, you might have available data. Available data. Okay, available data means, let's say you already have CSV file. Okay, then you already have, let's say, TXT file, you already have, let's say, PDF file. Okay, it is possible because nowadays there are lots of data. So I have some existing data with me, so I don't need to collect this particular data. This data set is already available in my computer. So in case actually you are very lucky, you don't need to collect the data because you already have the existing data. You can directly work on it. Fine. Now let's say you don't have your data, you don't have the available data. In case actually there is a possible the data is available to others. Okay, other data. Okay, other data wise, let's say this data set is available inside database. Okay, or let's say this data set is available in the internet. Okay, internet, or let's say API based data. Okay, or you need to scrap this particular data. Scrap. Okay, I think you know how to do web scrapping, right? So you can also scrap your own data. It is also possible. Okay, now there is another condition. Let's say you don't have available data, you don't have also other data. Okay, in case you have something called no data. Okay, if you have no data, then what you need to do, you need to create your own data. Create your own data. Okay, how to create your own data? You can collect your data, you can do the survey. Either you can use a large language model, okay, LLM, to create the data. It is also possible nowadays. Okay, that's how you need to prepare your own data. Fine. Now here, whenever I'm talking about no data, that means you are creating your own data. So there you will face one particular problem. Okay, the problem is, here I can write note. Whenever you are having this kinds of problem statement, or let's say this kinds of condition, no data, so there you will have very less data. Okay, less data. After collecting, you will see I am having very less data. So here, in case actually what you can do, you can perform something called augmentation. Okay, data augmentation, it is possible. I think you have done image augmentation, then you have also done, let's say, like numerical data augmentation. You have seen like these are the, I mean, technique how to do it and all, right? But have you ever done like NLP data augmentation? Anyone here? How to do the NLP data augmentation? I'll tell you some of the idea how to do it. Okay, so let's discuss how to actually do the NLP data augmentation. So here, in case actually what you can do, uh, so there are some of the method actually are available inside the NLP data augmentation. The first thing, you have something called replace. Okay, uh, replace with synonyms. Okay, so here I can write. Okay, and see, I think you know this thing, right? Synonyms and antonyms. Okay, so this thing actually you have learned inside your English grammar, right? So one particular, let's say you are having one particular word, you can also get this meaning. Okay, you can also get this meaning. Okay, you already learned this thing. Okay, whenever you used to study in your college days, I think you have already learned, right? Because you are working with the language, so definitely in language these are the thing would be there. If you consider any kinds of language, it can be English, it can be Hindi, it can be Bengali, any kinds of language will have, these are the grammatical rules, right? So let's give one example. Okay, if you don't know how to do it, So I'll give one example here. uh, Example wise, just a minute, let me give you one example. Yeah, so let's say here you have one particular sentence. Okay, so let's say you have one particular sentence called, here I can write the example. Let's say the example is, I am a data scientist. Data scientist. Okay, now can I write this particular sentence like that? I am a AI engineer. Can I write guys like that? The meanings is same or not? Tell me. The meanings is same. Only what I did, I just replaced this particular word with this particular word. Okay, so that's how what I'm doing. I'm just augmenting the data. Okay, the data I'm having currently. Okay, on top of that, I'm adding some more data. Okay, so that my model can understand, my model can learn. Okay, if you give like very huge data to the model, your model learning would be pretty much good in that case. Okay, but if you're giving less data, definitely your model would be overfit. Okay, I think you have learned this at the thing. Okay, already. So this is one particular method you can use to perform the data augmentation technique. Okay, yeah. Now though, okay, now another technique you can follow, something called bigram flip. Okay, so this is another technique. So in that bigram flip, what you can do, so it should be bigram flip. So in bigram flip, let's say you are having one sentence called, I am Bappy. Okay, so in bigram flip, what you need to do, you just need to flip the word. Okay, so here you can write Bappy. Okay, Bappy is my name. Okay, so that's how you can do the flip operation. So this is one first sentence, this is the second sentence. Okay, meanings are same, but what you are doing, you are just increasing the data here. No, Divya, see, no need to consider the working responsibility. If I'm talking about data scientist and AI engineer, they're same only, right? They're same only, almost same. Getting my point? No need to go inside very deep. Okay, if you are going inside very deep, then language would be like very much complex for you, because all the words doesn't have the same meaning, but it almost represent the same meaning. I'm talking about like that only. Got it? Fine. Yeah, so this is called bigram flip. You can do it. Okay, with the help of bigram flip also you can augment the data. It is also possible. Fine. Okay, now there is another technique you can follow called back translate. Back translate. Okay, back translate. Now what is back translate? So for this, what I will do, I'll try to use my Google Translate. Okay, so with the help of Google Translate, so here I'll open my Google Translate, and here let me just write down one particular um, paragraph here. So what I can do, I can just write English story. So story, I think I can take, because this would be a good example. Maybe I'll just copy one short story from here. Let's say this is the story. Okay, this is the story. I'll copy, and here I'll first of all paste it. Okay, let's say English to Bengali, I'm doing the translate, or let's say Hindi. Okay, let's say English to Hindi, I'm doing the translate. Now what I will do, I will copy this particular Hindi text. Okay, now see, this English text is different. Just try to just note it down. Okay, see, this English text is different. Okay, when I've copied. Now after doing the back translate, what will happen? So let's say I will copy this particular Hindi. Now here what I will do, I will select Hindi to Bengali. Okay, now here I'll just give the Hindi. The Hindi I copied. Hindi I copied. Now let's say I convert it to Bengali. Then again I will copy this Bengali, and here I will just select the Bengali. So here I will just give the detect and paste my Bengali. And if I again convert it to English, now see this see, meanings are same, but some of the word has been changed. Have you observed? Have you observed some of the word has been changed here? but meanings are same only, but some of the words has been changed. Okay, so that is called back translate. Now I can copy this particular text and I can use it inside my data. Fine. So this is like another, you can call it a jugaru approach. Okay, jugaru approach. So with the help of this back translate also, you can augment the data if you are having less data set. Fine. Okay, I hope this part is clear, like what is back translate exactly, right? Then you can follow another technique called adding additional noise. Okay, so there is another method, additional noise into the data. So how to add additional noise? So let's say you are having one sentence, I am a data scientist. Okay, so with this particular sentence you can add some more text. So let's say you are giving one comma and you are giving, I love this job. So this part your additional noise. Okay, additional noise you are adding. Okay, although meanings remain same, but you are adding some additional noise so that your model can learn better in this case. Fine. Okay, now this is the part of our data acquisition. Okay, so this data acquisition is clear. Now let's discuss about text preparation. Okay, so now let's discuss text preparation. Like inside text preparation, what we need to consider. So let me just write to text preparation. Text preparation. So inside text preparation, we have some of the things. So the first thing is like, I already told you, we have something called basic preprocessing. And the second thing is like we have advanced preprocessing. Okay, so first of all, try to understand this basics preprocessing. So let's take basics preprocessing. Basic one. So inside basic preprocessing, you have something called, just let me write down. You have something called tokenization. Tokenization. Okay, tokenization. So we have two kinds of tokenization. One is sentence level tokenization. Sentence tokenization. Another is like word level tokenization. Do you know what is tokenization? I think you know these are the thing, because these are thing is very basics. Okay, inside NLP. That's why I'm not going very depth. Okay, I'm just giving you the high level overview. Okay, you can search about what is tokenization, what is sentence level tokenization, and what is word level tokenization. Okay, you should be familiar with these are the concept at least. Fine. Then other step you need to perform inside basics. Here are some other step. Okay, other step wise, first of all, you should know something called stop word. Okay, stop word remove. Okay, stop word remove inside basics preprocessing. Okay, now what is stop word? So I think you know what is stop word. If I search here, stop word. See, each and every language contains a stop words list. Okay, so if I search stop word list in English, here I'm working with English language, so here I will search for English. So see, these are the stop word in English. Okay, I, me, myself, our, love, ourselves. Okay, so sometimes stop word is not required. Okay, so let me give you one example. Okay, why sometimes it is not required. So for this, I have already created one PPT for you. See, I think this PPT is visible, guys. Can you see this customer review example? Are you familiar with this book, guys? Can anybody tell me? Are you familiar with this book? I hope if you are working in the field of data science, so you should familiar with this book. Let me know. Hands-on machine learning with scikit-learn and TensorFlow. Are you familiar with this book? Please reply something in the chat so that I can get you are getting my point. Okay, fine. Let's say I am having this particular book and here one customer review I am having. Okay, so let's say one customer review I'm having. So let's say this book is available on the Amazon and here one customer review you got. So customer is telling a perfect book for the ML scikit-learn and TensorFlow. This is one of the best books you can get for someone who is just starting out in ML. In its library such as TensorFlow, it covers the basics very good. As a book, it's 5 out of 5. Okay, so this is the review. Actually I'm getting this book. Now inside this review, can you see stopwords is there? Yes or no? Can you see a is there, for is there, and is there, is there, this is there? So these are stopword. Okay, now let's say I want to see this review is positive or negative. Okay, so now tell me, this review is positive or negative? Just try to understand, just try to read and tell me whether the review is positive or negative. What do you think? Tell me, positive or negative? It's a positive review. How you are getting this review is a positive review. As a human, how you are getting this review is a positive review. Maybe you are considering this one perfect book, then you are also seeing the best books, then you are also say like I think seeing this one very good, 5 out of 5. Yes or no? So these are the positive word you can see. Yes or no? Right? These are the positive word you can see. Then you are considering, yes, this review is a positive review. Customer is like very happy with this particular book, right? But how my machine will able to understand? Okay, how my machine will be able to understand? Because for machine, this particular text is a little bit complex, because here if you see the context length is like very bigger. But can I reduce the context length? I can reduce the context length if I remove the stop word from here. If I can only these are the word, perfect book, very good, okay, 5 out of 5, then I can tell this review is a positive review. Okay, so see, now what I have done, see, I have removed some of the stop word from here. Okay, now still can I say this book book review is a positive review, a perfect book, best book, it covers basics very good. As a book, it's out 5 out of 5. Can I consider this review is a positive? Still is a positive. Okay, not considering these are the word. Yes or no? Are you getting my point, guys? What I'm trying to say here exactly? Please let me know in the chat. If it is clear, then I think I can finish this particular stop word. Yes? Yeah, so that's why sometimes we need to remove the stop word, because I don't need that much of context length. Still, I can get my answer, okay, using some of the words. So that's why sometimes we need to, like you can say, remove the stop word. That is why here in the basic preprocessing, okay, you just need to stop, remove the stop word whenever you are doing any kinds of NLP project. Okay, but let's say whenever you are doing chatbot, okay, whenever you are implementing chatbot, let's say you are doing chat GPT kinds of application, at that time you should have the stop word. Otherwise, how your grammar will follow by your application? Okay, let's say here if I write my name is Bappi. Okay, remember me. Remember me. See, here I'm also passing the stop word. But let's say if I'm removing the stop word, let's say, okay. Now see, will my chat GPT understand? It would be a little bit difficult for my chat GPT to understand what I'm trying to say. But if I'm providing these are the word as well, okay, my grammar is correct right now, it will able to understand what I'm trying to say. Okay, so it depends upon the task you are solving. Some of the task actually needs the stop word, some of the task doesn't need the stop words. For this we have another actually condition. Okay, Divya, so this is again concept of NLP. If you want to understand, again I need to relaunch the NLP topic and all. Okay, but here we are doing the project, just try to get it as a high level what I'm trying to say. Okay, yeah. All right, so stop word remover, I think you got it, how to the stop word. Okay, then you also need to perform something called steaming operation. So let me just quickly write down, because you know these are the thing I am expecting. Steaming, or you have something called lemmatization. Okay, lemmatization. Okay, steaming lemmatization means you are bringing the word to the main form, that means root form. Let's say you are having 3 different words. Let's say play, 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 played, plays, played, and playing, playing. Okay, playing. So you have 3 different words, so I can only write the play here because the meanings are same only. Okay, instead of taking 3 different word, I can take actually this one, the root form, okay, which is nothing but play. Yeah, it's steaming. Okay, steaming. Okay, or you can also talk it as lemmatization. Hmm. Then you can do something called removing punctuation. Punctuation. Okay, punctuation. What are the punctuation? This comma, sorry, this full stop, comma, semicolon, clone, hash. Okay, then at the rate. So these are the punctuation. Okay, so you need to remove the punctuation because punctuation doesn't represent any kinds of meaning in our sentence. Okay, so you can remove them. Okay, then you can perform something called lowercase operation. Lowercase. Okay, lowercase operation. Because what happens sometimes, let's say here I'm writing two text. Let's say I am Bappi. Okay, Bappi is my Bappi is my let's say alias. Okay, alias name. Now tell me, this Bappi or this Bappi is similar? This Bappi and this Bappi is similar, yes or no? As a human, you understand, okay, this Bappi and this Bappi is similar, but for machine it is different because here I'm using capital and here I'm using lowercase. So that's why whenever it will create the embedding, okay, embedding, that means it will convert to the vector. This would be another vector, this would be another vector. Okay, again your model will confuse. So that's why you need to do the lowercase operation. Let's say you are having any kinds of uppercase character, bring it to lowercase. Now if I bring it to lowercase, so what will happen? So this Bappi will also become this Bappi. Okay, now this Bappi and this Bappi is same. Okay, so the vector I will be getting, this vector would be same. Got it? That's why you need to perform this lowercase operation. Yeah. Okay, so these are the basics of pre-processing. Okay, now let's discuss about advanced pre-processing. Okay, some of the advanced pre-processing are also there. So let me just write down here. Advanced pre-processing. So inside advanced pre-processing, you have something called parts of speech tagging. Okay, parts of speech tags. Okay, or you can also call it as POS. Okay, pause. Then you have something called parsing. So these are the thing is required whenever you are doing conversational agents kinds of application. These are the thing is very much important. Okay, you need to take care. Then you have something called co-reference resolution. Okay, co-reference resolution. Okay, so these three things actually you need to consider inside advanced pre-processing. Now let me show you what is co-reference resolution, what is parsing, what is this POS tag. Now see guys, here I have one PPT. Here, see guys, I think this is the example I think I can give. See, here you have one sentence. Okay, Chaplin wrote, directed, and composed the music for the most of his film. Okay, now what is tokenization and lemmatization? As you can see, first tokenization means you are separating each and every word, okay, as a token. Lemmatization means you are bringing that particular word in a root form. Okay, see, it was wrote. Now if you apply lemmatization or streaming, it will bring it to the root form, which is nothing but write. Okay, now if you perform POS tag, okay, what is POS tag? I think you have learned like noun, pronoun, verb. Okay, I think you have learned this thing, grammatical, like English grammatical rules. Yes or no? I'm not very good with grammar, guys. I can't explain this thing, but those who are very good with grammar, they can get it. Like what is NP, what is BVD, then what is CC. Okay, they can get it. Got it. Now what is parsing? Parsing is nothing but one kind of tree. Okay, now see what happens actually whenever you give any kinds of prompt to the conversational agents, or let's say ChatGPT or Google Bard, they in the backend they perform these kinds of parsing or POS tagging to understand the grammatical flow, like how you are giving this particular text and how it will return that particular text to you. Because whenever you are giving one particular prompt, okay, whenever you are getting one response, it should also focus the grammatical actually grammatical representation in the backend. Okay, so that is why this POS tags and parsing helps you to understand the grammar. Like after subject, verb will come. After verb, actually object will come. That's how actually it flows. Okay, it flows with the help of this particular parsing and POS tagging. Got it? Now, what is co-reference resolution? This is one of the most important things. Let's say here is one sentence I already told you. Chaplin wrote, directed, and composed the music for the most of his film. Okay. Now here, if you see Chaplin, okay, Chaplin and his, whether these two person are same or not, guys, tell me. Chaplin and his, what his represent? Chaplin. Okay, you know that, but how machine will know? Okay, for machine actually, first of all, you need to apply something called co-reference resolution. With the help of that, it will able to understand Chaplin and his. These are the same person. It is indicating the same person. Got it? So these are the advanced pre-processing step you need to perform whenever you are creating advanced application. Let's say ChatGPT kinds of application. Got it? Or let's say you are doing Amazon Alexa, Google Assistant. Okay, see, I'm having one Google Assistant with me, Google Home Mini. Okay, so if you give any voice command to this Google Home Mini, it will try to reply as a voice. Okay, but how it is identifying my voice, how it is pre-processing with the help of this NLP things only, right? Yeah. Okay, I hope this part is clear. What is advanced and like basics of pre-processing? Now, what will come after this one? Data acquisition is done. Text pre-processing also done. Basics we have seen. Advanced we have seen. Now your feature engineering will come. Okay, what is feature engineering? Now let's try to understand, because see, the things actually I'm discussing today, okay, whenever I'll be implementing the project, so I'll be trying to use these are the thing only in my implementation. Like how I will see like how we will be creating the pipeline with the help of these are the thing only. We'll be doing data acquisition, we'll be doing pre-processing, we'll be doing feature engineering, we'll be doing modeling, we'll be doing the evaluation. Okay, so that's why I'm discussing these are the part first of all, and this is the NLP pipeline only. Fine. Now tell me, this pipeline is matching with your DL project or ML project, yes or no? Is it matching? That's why NLP pipeline is a little bit different from your ML and DL. I hope this part is now clear. Why NLP pipeline is different? Because you are working with textual data, and textual data is an unstructured data. And whenever you are working with the textual data, you also need to take care of the grammar and the contextual meaning. So that's why pipeline would be a little bit same. But whenever I'm working with images and CSV data, I don't have any kinds of context here. I can take any kinds of pixel at the very first, any kinds of CSV data at the very first. It's up to me. Still, my neural network will be able to understand what I'm trying to do. Got it? All right. Now, third thing, actually, we are having something called feature engineering. Okay, inside feature engineering, what we need to do, we need to perform something called text vectorization. Text vectorization. Okay, what is text vectorization? That means you are converting text to, okay, text to vector, okay, or numbers. Because you can directly pass the English text to the model, you first of all need to convert them to vectors or numbers, then you can pass it to the model. Okay, for this you can use some of the technique. Let's say you have something called TF IDF technique, then you have something called bag of word technique. Okay, then you have something called one hot encoding, then you have something called word to vec. Okay, word to vec technique. Okay, word to vec technique. And nowadays there are lots of pre-trained models are also available. We call it as embedding model. Okay, embedding, with the help of embedding model you can also do it. Fine. Then the third thing, you also need to do something called encoding. Okay, encoding of the label data. Fine. Let's say here you are doing something called hate speech classification. So here you have something called hate and no hate. Okay, hate and no hate. Let's say you are defining hate as 1 and no hate as 0. So that is called encoding. Got it? All right. Now after that, what we had, guys? I had let me check. Feature engineering is done. Now I need to do the modeling. Okay. So modeling means you need to train the model. So let me just write down. I need to do the modeling. So for modeling. So here, whenever you are like training the model, you can use I mean you can use like different things. You can also use something called this one, heuristic approach. Okay, heuristic approach means this is the conditional based algorithm. Okay, We don't use it nowadays because this is not required, because we have currently very powerful model and all, so we won't be using heuristic approach. Then you can use something called ML, okay, machine learning approach. You can also use naive bias classification, then random forest classification. With the help of that, you can also do text classification. It is also possible, but again, it is a statistical based algorithm. Again, we won't be using. Okay, so you can jump into the DL, okay, deep learning algorithm. Here you have something called RNN, that means recurrent neural network. Okay, so this should be the best option for me. So here I can use this one. Okay, DL actually network. And if you don't want to also use DL network, if you don't let's say if you don't know any kinds of coding part and all, okay, what you can use? You can use something called Cloud API. Okay, Cloud API. With the help of Cloud API, you can also perform text classification, because some of the Cloud API will give you some API. If you give, let's say this is my API. Okay, this is my API. If you give one input text, okay, input text, okay, it will give you whether this text is a positive or negative. Okay, so this kinds of API is also available, but it is costly. Okay, this is like not free. You need to pay for it. So I won't be using Google Cloud API, because here I will be creating my own model, because we know the coding. Okay, here those who have joined the session, they know the coding already. So that's why we will be using RNN, that means recurrent neural network. We'll be building our own network, custom network, then we'll be training the model. Yeah, I'll also share these notes with your course resources section. Make sure you have enrolled. The course you are having in the description section of the video. Okay, it is completely free. Just try to enroll, and in the description section it would be available. Sorry, in the resources section it would be available. Fine. Okay, so this is the modeling part, like how to do the modeling. So here you have different approach you can follow, but here I'll be following the DL approach, which is recurrent neural network we'll be creating here. So once modeling is done, then here you need to do the evaluation. Okay, so here just let me write down, or let's say write down, let's write down later. Evaluation, I think this is 4 and this is 5. Model evaluation. evaluation Evaluation. Okay, so inside evaluation you have two kinds of evaluation. The first is in intrinsic intrinsic evaluation, and the second one is extrinsic extrinsic evaluation. Okay, what is intrinsic evaluation, what is extrinsic evaluation? Now let's try to understand. See, intrinsic evaluation means you are evaluating your model, okay, after training. Okay, after training, what kinds of model evaluation metric you use, guys? Tell me, for the classification. Anyone know? Let's say I'm performing text classification. So what metric I can use for the text classification evaluation? Are you remembered this one? Accuracy score. Accuracy score. Then we have something called F1 score. Then we have something called precision. Okay, precision. Then we have something called recall, right? Yeah, so these are the metric actually you can use for the intrinsic evaluation. Okay, so this is your task actually as a data scientist or as an NLP engineer. After training your model, you first of all need to evaluate your model with the help of these are the metric. Then you will be deciding whether this model is performing well or not. If it is performing well, okay, we'll be pushing the model to the production. Okay, but there is very important evaluation. Okay, actually nowadays industry actually apply these are the thing. Okay, if they are creating any kinds of product called extensive evaluation. What is extensive evaluation? Let's say you have pushed your model to the production. Now let's say your model is running to the production server. Okay, and people are using your application. Okay, people are using your application. So now this extensive evaluation will start. Okay, now let me give you one example. I think you are using like keyboard, right? Your Google keyboard, I think you are using on your smartphone. Yes or no? Or let's say if you use any kinds of application, okay, any kinds of application, you will see initially whenever this application will build, okay, whenever it is coming as a new application to the market. Let's say if I'm talking about chat GPT, initially you will see this application was very new, and it was telling uh, the response you are getting, whether you are getting as a relevant answer or not. It will take some feedback from you. Yes or no? Have you seen this kinds of thing? After using this application, it will pop up on screen whether this response was helpful for you or not, this was relevant to you or not. That means it is taking some of the feedback whether this application is working fine or not. If not, if you are submitting any kinds of, let's say, issue, let's say this application is not working, it is not giving the relevant answer to me, that means this application is failing somewhere. So the feedback they are taking, then they are improving that particular application. Okay, in the backend they're again improving the application, again they're pushing the model to the production. That's how this extensive evaluation works. So this extensive evaluation will start after productionize your application. People will be using, they'll be taking the feedback, based on the feedback they'll be improving the application. Got it? So that's how one particular application will become very intelligent, okay, with the help of this extensive evaluation, because they are taking the feedback from the human. If something is new data is they are giving, they're storing that particular data to the DB, again they're retaining the model, again they're pushing the model to the production. That's how the chat GPT is becoming like very intelligent day to day. Okay, the initial chat GPT will see, and nowadays chat GPT will see, and you will see the difference between them. Got it? That's how we can monitor now after like deployment. You are done the productionize. Okay, now your application is using by the user. At that time you are monitoring now here whether my application is working fine or not. If some bad feedback is coming from the user, definitely your model is failing. What do you need to do? You need to improve that particular model. If not, your model is working good. Got it? See, always model monitoring is doesn't mean like you need to add Grafana or let's say I think there are some tools, okay, you can integrate. Okay, it's not like that you need to add like MLOps tool to monitor your application. Okay, it's like that whether my application is working fine or not after doing the productionize. We add these at the Grafana or any other tool, because just to see like whether how this application is working exactly, what is the accuracy metrics, what is the let's say losses and all. Okay, we can visualize these are the thing, but main evaluation monitoring is there. Okay, instead of MLOps also you can still monitor your application, it is also possible, but MLOps gives us like more flexibility. Okay, we don't need to focus on the more coding. Yes, you can also use BART GPT model in this project also, Lokesh. It is also fine. First of all, try to learn the pipeline. That means the pipeline implementation, how to do it. Okay. Then the last thing actually, deployment comes into picture. Okay. So if evaluation is done, everything is working fine, you will be doing the deployment. Okay. In any cloud platform. Yeah, so these are the thing only. I hope this entire NLP pipeline is clear, guys. Yes or no? This is clear? Now, if I tell you what is NLP pipeline, what are the pipeline included in an end-to-end project, will you be able to answer yes or no? Yes, you should evaluate the model in both cases actually, intensive evaluation and extensive evaluation. Intensive evaluation as an NLP engineer you will be doing before productionize your application. Extensive evaluation you will be monitoring after productionizing your application. Okay. That's why if you go to the any kinds of, let's say, research nowadays, let's say if I'm talking about something called this one, what should I take? Let's say ML flow. Okay, ML flow GitHub. ML flow GitHub. I think you know ML flow is a MLOps tool. And see, when was the last commit, guys? Tell me, when was the last commit? Tell me. But this one actually, this MLOps tool came actually long back. Okay, if you check this MLOps, it came long back. But see how frequently they're upgrading their code base. Okay, only 1 hour ago there was a last commit. Okay, why? Because they got some bug, they're doing this kinds of extensive evaluation. If there is something wrong, okay, so what they need to do, they need to upgrade that particular thing. That's how you also need to monitor your application. Nah, it's not like that you have built one application and you just like leave it. That won't be working. So you need to monitor this application. You should have the developer contributor to the application, so that if something is going wrong, you can immediately update the code base. That's how actually things happen. That's how open source happen actually. Okay, and one thing I can do it. Let me create one GitHub repo so that tomorrow whatever code I'll be doing, I'll just committing the code here. Okay, so let's quickly create one GitHub repository, guys. How to create GitHub repo? I think you already know. Let me show you again. Here, just click on the new. Then here, just give the name. So here I can give end-to-end NLP project uh, implementation. This is the name. I'll be giving it as public, add readme file. Also, I'll add git ignore. Sorry, it should be Python. And license wise, I'll be taking, let's say, MIT license, and I'll create the repository.